I became Minister of Police in middle of 2022, and I don't know if you remember, but at the time we were experiencing that peak in ram raids. And so I got all of the different government agencies in who were dealing with those kids. So police, education, oranga tamariki, health, all of the different government agencies. I sat them in my office and I said, well, can you tell me who are these kids who are doing this? And because there were hundreds of kids, well, we set a threshold at 5. So any kid who'd done more than 5 ram raids, we basically made a list of them. And there are 96 kids on that list. And then I said, okay, well, let's do the next thing and let's go through these and figure out what's going on with these kids' lives, that they're out there stealing cars, driving them into businesses and so on. I think it was about 90% of those kids had been the subject of or witness to family violence. About the same number had someone in their household who had been involved in the criminal justice system. So they'd been into prison or they'd been arrested or they'd been on home detention. When we started working with all those different government agencies to say, let's support those families. Let's figure out what's going on that means that this cycle is continuing. Yeah. Let's do some proper support. So if the parents don't have driver's licenses, let's help the parents get driver's licenses. If there's drug and alcohol addiction in the household, let's get them support to deal with that. When we did that, within a very short space of time, 75% of those kids, and bearing in mind these were the ones who were the most in trouble, they stopped reoffending. And that meant there was still 25% that we needed to do even more to kind of get them out of trouble. But that's a heck of a turnaround rate. They don't talk about it much, but the current government have actually continued that program on. And that, I think, is how we make a difference. You've got to get right into the base of the issue. How do we turn these people's lives around? And it's not just the kids, because if the kids are in trouble, there's generally, it's generally a sign that there's more going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, they've got so many kids born into this struggle, and no matter what people think of the parents, it's not those kids' fault.